We are doctoral students from various disciplines presenting an interdisciplinary case study on advanced service marketing. This study examines how service principles transcend industry boundaries and contribute to governance effectiveness, stakeholder engagement, organizational excellence, and sustainable development. Guided by Hongbing service framework, we explore how organizations create value through service-centered thinking and stakeholder collaboration. This presentation aims to examine the application of Hongbing service framework across multiple sectors and demonstrate how service excellence contribute to public value and sustainable development. Use the report text discussing the transition from product-centered thinking to service-centered value creation. Good day, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join this discussion today. I am Josephine Morgan, the President of Digitalized Corporation and a doctoral student in security development. Because I stand with one foot in the corporate world and the other in academia, I have the unique vantage point on where theory meets daily execution. Today, I will discuss how the principles of service marketing are applied in digital governance, legal consultancy, and cybersecurity services. And I will share how we actively implement these concepts at Digitalized Corporation. Unlike traditional consumer products, cybersecurity and legal services are largely intangible. Our clients cannot physically examine a security control, hold a compliance framework in their hands, or test drive a governance system before it is fully implemented. Instead, they are buying a promise. They rely entirely on professional expertise, trust, and institutional credibility. At Digitalize, I frequently remind my team that we are not selling a box of software. We are selling resilience, foresight, and peace of mind. To understand how we market and deliver this intangible value, we can look through the lens of Hongbing framework. The first concept that applies is user thinking. User thinking emphasizes understanding the actual, underlying needs of stakeholders. In cybersecurity and legal consultancy, clients rarely just want a firewall or a contract. They seek protection against existential business threats, compliance with rigid regulations, and a guarantee of operational continuity. In my experience leading Digitalize, I've learned that a one-size-fits-all approach inevitably fails. We have to deeply understand our clients' specific pain points. Whether it's a healthcare provider terrified of patient data breaches or a financial firm navigating complex regulatory landscapes. Effective service providers must design bespoke solutions that speak directly to these anxieties and business goals. The second concept is big data thinking. Modern cybersecurity is no longer just about building high walls. It is about visibility. It relies heavily on data analytics, continuous threat monitoring systems, incident reporting, and dynamic risk assessment frameworks. At Digitalize, data is a lifeblood of our operations. Through the precise use of telemetry and threats intelligence, we can identify hidden vulnerabilities, predict localized risks before they escalate, and empower our clients' executive boards to make rapid, informed decisions. We use big data not just to react to threats, but to proactively map out the safest route forward. The third concept is open thinking. Digital governance cannot exist in a vacuum. It requires a vast ecosystem of collaboration among government agencies, private organizations, legal regulators, and technology providers. No organization can achieve perfect cybersecurity entirely on its own. At Digitalize, we actively champion open thinking by partnering with legal consultants, sharing anonymized threat intelligence with industry peers, and aligning with national governance frameworks. Service values in this industry is created through cooperation and shared responsibility. We are stronger when we are connected. The fourth concept is story thinking. In a field driven by fear and uncertainty, organizations build trust through narratives of reliability, accountability, and security. Stakeholders develop confidence when institutions consistently demonstrate their commitment to protecting information and maintaining rigorous governance standards. Our story at Digitalize isn't just about stopping hackers. It is about enabling businesses to thrive without fear. When we share sanitized case studies of how we guided a client through a critical incident or helped them achieve a complex compliance certification, we are using story thinking to build a reputation as a trusted, unshakable partner. Moving to the broader perspective of the service marketing mode, success in our industry is achieved exclusively through a long-term relationship rather than one-time transactions. Cybersecurity and legal counsels are ongoing journeys. Clients remain loyal when organizations continuously adapt to new threats and consistently deliver secure, reliable services year after year. Finally, service value marketing focuses on the ultimate outcomes created for stakeholders. In the realms of cybersecurity and digital governance, the ultimate value doesn't lie in the technology itself. The true value lies in organizational resilience, frictionless regulatory compliance, unwavering stakeholder confidence, and public trust. In conclusion, the fields of digital governance and cybersecurity perfectly demonstrate how service-centered strategies create sustainable value. By understanding our users, leveraging data, collaborating openly, and controlling our narrative, we don't just secure networks, we strengthen institutional legitimacy in a digital world. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Paul Gerald Riguera, a doctoral student in security management and affiliated with the National Bureau of Investigation. My presentation focuses on the application of service marketing principle in national security and law enforcement services. Law enforcement is fundamentally a public service. Citizens do not simply expect enforcement of laws. They expect protection, fairness, accountability, and public safety. The first framework that applies in user thinking: citizens are the primary users of law enforcement services. Their needs include safety, justice, rapid response, and confidence in public institutions. Effective security services begin by understanding these expectations. The second framework is extreme thinking. National security requires the highest standards of preparedness and professionalism. Agency must be capable of responding to critical incidents, emergencies, and threats with speed and precision. The third framework is story thinking. Public trust is shaped by visible examples of integrity, competence, and service. Every successful operation contributes to the broader narrative of institutional credibility and public confidence. In terms of service marketing mode, Law enforcement organizations build relationships with communities through transparency, responsiveness, and consistent service delivery. Under service value marketing, the true value provided by law enforcement is not merely crime prevention, but the creation of safe communities, social stability, and public trust. In conclusion, security services demonstrate that effective service delivery is essential for maintaining legitimacy and strengthening governance. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Joel Tacoban, a holder of a Master in National Security Administration, a doctoral student in Security Development, and professionally affiliated with the National Bureau of Investigation. Today, I will discuss how the principles of service marketing are applied within forensic science, ballistic examination, and investigative support services. When people think about criminal investigations, they often focus on field operations, arrests, and court proceedings. However, behind every successful investigation is a network of specialized scientific services that support the pursuit of justice. Within the National Bureau of Investigation, forensic and ballistic services play a critical role in establishing facts, analyzing evidence, and assisting investigators in solving cases through scientific methods. Unlike many commercial services, forensic services operate in highly technical environments where accuracy, credibility, and integrity are essential. Using Hongbing Hua's framework, the first concept that strongly applies to forensic services is user thinking. In our field, the users of forensic services include investigators, prosecutors, courts, government agencies, and ultimately the public. These stakeholders depend on scientific findings that are objective, reliable, and legally defensible. Understanding their needs is critical because the quality of forensic services directly influences decision-making, legal outcomes, and public confidence in the justice system. The second concept is big data thinking. Modern forensic science relies heavily on information, documentation, evidence management systems, laboratory records, analytical reports, and scientific databases. Every investigation generates valuable information that must be properly collected, analyzed, preserved, and interpreted. Through evidence-based methodologies, forensic professionals transform raw information into meaningful findings that support investigative and judicial processes. Data-driven decision-making is therefore a fundamental component of forensic service delivery. The third concept is extreme thinking. In forensic and ballistic examinations, precision is not optional. Even minor inaccuracies may affect investigative conclusions, judicial proceedings, and public trust. This is why forensic services demand strict adherence to protocols, quality assurance procedures, chain of custody requirements, and professional standards. As a member of the National Bureau of Investigation, I've observed how attention to detail, discipline, technical competence, and procedural integrity are essential. Every piece of evidence must be handled with care, because the integrity of the investigation depends upon the integrity of the evidence itself. Another important aspect of forensic work is credibility. Scientific findings must withstand scrutiny from investigators, prosecutors, defense lawyers, courts, and other stakeholders. Therefore, forensic professionals must consistently demonstrate professionalism, objectivity, and technical expertise. This leads us to another important framework identified by Hongbing Hua, which is story thinking. While forensic science is highly technical, the results of forensic examinations ultimately contribute to a larger narrative. The evidence analyzed by forensic professionals helps reconstruct events, establish facts, identify responsible parties, and support the administration of justice. In many cases, scientific evidence provides clarity and understanding where uncertainty previously existed. Through this process, forensic services contribute to public confidence in the justice system and reinforce the perception that investigations are conducted fairly. From the perspective of service marketing mode, forensic organizations do not simply produce laboratory reports. They provide professional services that support investigators, prosecutors, courts, and communities. The focus is therefore on consistently delivering reliable, accurate, and timely scientific support that meets stakeholder expectations. Trust is earned through competence, consistency, and integrity. Under service value marketing, the value of forensic services extends beyond technical outputs. The true value includes supporting justice, strengthening accountability, and protecting individual rights, enhancing investigative effectiveness, promoting public confidence, and reinforcing institutional credibility. These outcomes represent the real benefits experienced by society. From a development administration perspective, effective forensic services contribute to good governance by strengthening the rule of law, supporting evidence-based decision-making, and enhancing institutional accountability. A justice system that relies on scientific integrity is better positioned to protect rights, resolve disputes, and maintain public trust. In conclusion, Hongbing Hua's service framework provides a valuable perspective for understanding forensic science within law enforcement. Through user thinking, we understand needs. Through big data thinking, we utilize evidence to support decisions. Through extreme thinking, we pursue excellence. Through story thinking, we contribute to justice and accountability. Through service marketing, we create meaningful value for investigators, courts, communities, and society as a whole. Ultimately, the success of forensic services is measured by their contribution to truth, justice, public trust, and institutional integrity. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
When we hear the word marketing, many people immediately think of advertising, promotions, or increasing sales. But in healthcare, marketing carries a much deeper purpose. It is about creating trust, delivering value, and building lasting relationships with the people we serve. This perspective reminds us that the success of a healthcare institution is measured not only by its clinical expertise or advanced technology, but also by the experiences it creates for patients, families, and the community. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to build confidence, strengthen relationships, and reinforce the institution's commitment to compassionate and patient-centered care. I am Lyrene Cardenas, Head Nurse of the Airborne Infection Isolation Unit at the National Kidney and Transplant Institute. Working in a specialized tertiary hospital has shown me that healthcare marketing is not confined to the marketing department. Every healthcare professional becomes a representative of the institution through the quality of care they provide, the compassion they demonstrate, and the trust they build with patients and their families. Today, I will discuss how the concepts of user thinking, historical thinking, and socialized thinking influence advanced marketing management in healthcare, and how these principles are reflected in my role as nurse leader at NKTI. The first framework is user thinking, which places the user at the center of service design and delivery. In healthcare, our users are our patients and their families. While they seek competent diagnosis and treatment, they also value empathy, timely communication, respect, dignity, and emotional support. Their expectations extend beyond clinical outcomes. They want to feel safe, heard, and cared for throughout their healthcare journey. As a nurse leader, I care for patients with infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, COVID-19, leptospirosis, etc. Because these patients are admitted under isolation precautions, many experience fear, uncertainty, and separation from their loved ones. Applying user thinking means understanding these experiences and designing care that addresses not only physical needs, but also emotional and psychological well-being. We encourage our nurses to communicate clearly, respond promptly to concerns, involve families whenever possible, and provide compassionate care despite the limitations imposed by isolation. From an advanced marketing management perspective, user thinking enables healthcare organizations to understand patient expectation, improve service delivery, and develop patient-centered strategies that increase satisfaction, trust, and loyalty. The second framework is story thinking, which recognizes that people remember experiences more than individual services. Every patient leaves the hospital with a story. That story becomes part of the hospital's reputation. A patient who feels respected, listened to, and genuinely cared for often becomes an advocate for the institution by sharing positive experiences with their families, friends, and the community. Conversely, a single negative encounter may influence public perception far beyond one patient. As a nurse leader, I remind my team that every interaction matters, from how we welcome patients, explain procedures, respond to concerns, or simply offer reassurance during difficult moments. At NKTI, we also learn from patient feedback, incident reports, and satisfaction surveys. These insights help us continuously improve patient experience and strengthen public trust. From an advanced marketing management perspective, story thinking reinforces the importance of relationship marketing and brand reputation. In healthcare, our strongest marketing tool is not advertising. It is the positive experiences our patients choose to share with others. The third framework is socialized thinking, which recognizes that value is created through collaboration among multiple stakeholders. Healthcare is a collaborative service involving physicians, nurses, pharmacists, dietitians, therapists, administrative personnel, patients, families, and the wider community. At NKTI, delivering specialized renal and transplant care requires close coordination among different healthcare professionals. In the Airborne Infection Isolation Unit, collaboration is particularly important because managing infectious diseases requires coordinated clinical care, infection prevention measures, and continuous communication among the healthcare team. Socialized thinking also extends beyond the hospital walls. Through health education, community outreach programs, patient advocacy, and partnerships with stakeholders, healthcare organizations strengthen relationships and promote healthier communities. From an advanced marketing management perspective, this reflects stakeholder marketing, relationship marketing, and value co-creation, where patient, healthcare professionals, and communities actively participate in creating better healthcare experiences and outcomes. These three frameworks collectively support the concept of service marketing. Unlike tangible products, healthcare services are intangible, inseparable from the people delivering them, and highly dependent on human interaction. For this reason, healthcare marketing is not simply about promoting hospital services. It is about consistently delivering compassionate, reliable, safe, and patient-centered care that builds confidence and long-term relationships. Every interaction between healthcare professionals and patients contributes to the institution's reputation and reinforces its commitment to quality service. This naturally leads to service value marketing, which focuses on creating meaningful value for all stakeholders. For patients, value means receiving safe, effective, compassionate, and timely health care. For healthcare professionals, value is reflected in meaningful work, collaboration, professional growth, and opportunity to make a positive difference in patients' lives. For healthcare organizations like NKTI, value is demonstrated through improved patient satisfaction, stronger public trust, positive organizational reputation, better clinical outcomes, and sustained community confidence. As a nurse leader, I believe that every positive patient experience strengthens not only the individual's trust, but also the reputation and credibility of the institution we represent. In conclusion, user thinking, story thinking, and socialized thinking remind us that effective healthcare marketing goes beyond promoting services. It is about understanding people, creating meaningful experiences, and building lasting relationships. My experience at NKTI has shown me that every patient interaction becomes a reflection of our institution's values. Whether through compassionate communication, collaboration, or continuous service improvement, each encounter contributes to the trust that patient place in us. In healthcare, most powerful form of marketing is not what we say about our services. It is what our patient experience and what they remember after they leave our care. When we consistently create value through compassionate, patient-centered service, we build not only patient satisfaction, but also enduring trust, loyalty, and a reputation for excellence.
Good day everyone, I am Ariette Joanna Lacuesta Cabling, a high school teacher under the Department of Education and a doctoral student in Development Administration, major in Education Governance. Today I will discuss education and value co-creation and explain how education as a service applies to the concept of advanced marketing management. When we hear the word marketing, we often think about selling products. However, in service marketing, the focus is not only on selling, but on creating value together with the customer. Education is one of the best examples of a service because learning cannot simply be produced by the school alone. Value is created when teachers, students, parents, administrators, and the community actively participate in the learning process. As a teacher, I have realized that education is not just about delivering lessons. Every day, we create meaningful experiences that shape our learners' knowledge, character, and future. This is what we call value co-creation. As you can see in the slide, our first model is socialized thinking. This model emphasizes that learning is a collaborative process. Educations become meaningful because many stakeholders contribute to the success of the learner. My experience as a teacher inside my classroom is that I have observed that the students perform better when parents actively communicate with teacher and participate in their children's education. During parent-teachers conference and school activities, everyone's work together to support the learners. For example, when a student struggles academically, I coordinate with the parents, school administrators, and fellow teachers to provide appropriate interventions. The learner's improvement is the result of everyone's combined efforts, not just the teachers. Connecting it to service marketing, it reflects the concept of service dominant logic, where value is co-created by the service provider and the customer. In education, the teacher provides guidance that the students actively participate in learning, and while parents, administrator, and the community all become partners in creating educational value. Our second model is open thinking. Open thinking encourages collaboration, innovation, and strong partnership among stakeholders. Schools cannot operate effectively in isolation because quality education requires the support of the entire community. As the saying goes, no man is an island. walang makapag-iisa katulad po ng eskwelahan. As the Brigada Eskwela Coordinator at our school, I have personally experienced how collaboration creates value. Every year, I coordinate with parents, alumni, local government units, private organizations, community volunteers, and other stakeholders who generously donate their time, resources, and expertise to improve our learning environment. Through Brigada Eskwela, I have witnessed that the success of our school does not depend solely on teaching. Instead, it is achieved through the collective efforts of everyone who shares the goal of providing quality education for our learners. This experience clearly demonstrates that education is strengthened when schools build meaningful partnership with the community. Connecting it to service marketing, it illustrates the relationship marketing. In advanced marketing management, rather than focusing on one-time interactions, school building long-term relationship with stakeholders, it builds also trust, cooperation, and shared goals. By maintaining this partnership through programs like Brigada Eskwela, schools continuously create value that benefits both the learners and the community. For our last model, we have the story thinking. Story thinking reminds us that education is about changing lives. Every learner has a unique story, and every teacher becomes part of that journey. My experience as a teacher that I can remember, especially when I am teaching in one of the indigenous people school here in Zambales, I have teach one Aita student who lives in riverbanks or beside the river. When the learner first entered my class, he was shy, hesitant to participate, and sometimes struggled with attendance and confidence. I understood that every learner comes from different backgrounds, so I made an effort to create a welcoming and inclusive classroom. I regularly encouraged him to participate, provided additional academic support, communicate with his family, and ensured that he felt respected and accepted by his classmates. As time passed, I saw a remarkable transformation. This learner became more confident, actively participate in classroom discussion, improve academically, and develop a stronger belief in his own abilities. By the time he completed his elementary education, he graduated with honors, an achievement that reflected not only his determination and hard work, but also the collaborative support of his family, teachers, and the school community. Witnessing his journey from being a quiet and hesitant learner to becoming an honor graduate, it reminded me that education is not only about teaching lessons. It is empowering the learners to realize their full potential regardless of their background. From the perspective of advanced marketing management, this also demonstrates service value marketing. The value of education is not measured only by grades or academic achievement, by the positive and lasting impact that creates in people's lives. By understanding the learner's unique needs and providing personal support, I created value with the learner and his family. This educational service extended beyond the classroom. It built trust, promote inclusivity, strengthen relationship, and transform the learner's future. His graduation with honors became a tangible outcome of the value that was co-created among the teacher, the learner, the family, and the community. I remember the first Aita that graduated in UP. His name was Norman King. I hope that this student ay makagraduate din na katulad ni Norman King, ang kauna-unahang indigenous people na makagraduate sa UP Diliman. Sir, to conclude, service marketing focuses on education, on building long-term relationship rather than short-term transaction. As teacher, our responsibility goes beyond completing the curriculum. We continue building trust with students, parents, and stakeholders while providing meaningful learning experience that encourages lifelong learning. Through service value marketing, education creates value by developing knowledge, skills, character, leadership, and lifelong learning. As educators, we are not merely teaching subjects. We are preparing future professionals, responsible citizens, and leaders who will contribute positively to society. To conclude, our three models, which is the first one is socialized thinking, which emphasizes collaboration among all stakeholders, and the second model is open thinking, which highlights the importance of partnership and community engagement as demonstrated through my experience as the Brigada coordinator at our school, and our third model, which is the story thinking, where it shows that every learner's success story, including my experience of helping an ITA learner gain confidence and succeed, is evidence of the lasting value created by education. As teachers, we are not simply educating students. We are co-creating value, building lasting relationships, transforming lives, and helping shape a better future for our communities and our nation. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Good day, everyone. I am Florendo Armanomas, a senior high school academic teacher under the Department of Education and a doctoral student in business management, major in international marketing. Today, I will present my topic, Educational Service Quality and Stakeholder Engagement. This presentation highlights how marketing principles can improve educational services, strengthen stakeholder relationships, and create greater value for the school community. First, user thinking focuses on understanding the needs and expectations of students, parents, teachers, and the community. By listening stakeholder feedback, schools can provide more responsive, relevant, and learner-centered programs and services. Second, socialized thinking encourages collaboration among administrators, teachers, students, parents, and community partners. Through shared participation in planning and decision-making, schools build trust, strengthen partnerships, and promote an inclusive learning environment. Third, micro-innovation thinking emphasizes continuous improvements through small but meaningful changes, such as enhancing teaching methods, integrating technology, and improving communication systems. These innovations help improve educational service quality and the learning experience. The service marketing model highlights the importance of delivering quality educational services through reliability, responsiveness, empathy, and effective communication. These practices build trust, increase stakeholder satisfaction, and strengthen the school's reputation. Finally, service value marketing focuses on creating lasting value by improving learning outcomes, stakeholder satisfaction, and long-term engagement. By consistently delivering quality education, schools foster strong partnerships and support continuous improvement. In conclusion, integrating these concepts enable educational institutions to enhance service quality, strengthen stakeholder engagement, and achieve sustainable educational excellence. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lorella, a PhD student. How advanced service marketing and mobile marketing management enhance logistic and supply chain performance? Supply chains and logistics operations serve as the operational backbone of economic and organizational activity. They connect suppliers, warehouses, transportation providers, and customers to ensure that products are delivered efficiently, accurately, and on time. Without this backbone, even the most advanced mobile marketing platform could not fulfill customer expectations. This process is supported by three important ways of thinking. The first one, extreme thinking, focuses on reality, speed, and efficiency. In Dubai's fast-paced logistics environment, companies use real-time data, route optimization, and warehouse automation to ensure rapid and reliable deliveries. Micro-innovation thinking. It promotes continuous incremental improvements. Small innovations such as barcode scanning, mobile order notifications, automated inventory updates, and AI-assisted warehouse operations collectively improve service quality and operational performance. Number 3, open thinking encourages collaboration among suppliers, logistics providers, and customers. Mobile marketing platforms enable real-time communication, information sharing, and transparency across the supply chain, allowing all stakeholders to respond quickly to changing customer needs. Together, these approaches demonstrate that outstanding customer service is not achieved through marketing alone. It is the result of integrating technology, efficient logistic operations, and collaborative supply chain management to create seamless customer experience. Imagine you are relaxing at home and decide to order a new laptop using your mobile phone. Within seconds, your order is confirmed and you receive updates until it arrives at your doorstep. From your perspective, the experience is simple, fast, and convenient. However, what customers do not see is the complex network operating behind the scenes. Supply chains and logistics operations serve as the operational backbone of economic and organizational activity. They coordinate procurement, inventory, warehousing, transportation, and distribution to ensure that customer expectations are met. Advanced service marketing reminds us that excellent customer service begins long before the customer receives the product. According to Hongbing mobile marketing is no longer simply a promotional tool. It has become a strategic platform that improves communication, transparency, and customer engagement while supporting supply chain coordination. Although customers only see the front stage experience, efficient backstage operations determine whether the promised service can actually be delivered. In conclusion, advanced service marketing demonstrates that outstanding customer service extends far beyond direct customer interactions. Every successful service experience depends on a well-coordinated supply chain and logistics, supported by technology and collaboration. Hongbing's mobile marketing management demonstrates how mobile technologies enhance communication, visibility, and customer engagement through the supply chain. As a doctoral student and supply chain and logistic professional, I believe that sustainable competitive advantage is achieved when organizations recognize that the customer experience begins not only at the point of delivery but within the invisible systems and partnerships that make that delivery possible. And thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Romero Fagarang, a doctoral student in Development Administration, major in Environmental Management, and a serviceman of the Philippine Coast Guard. Today, I will discuss how selected thinking frameworks from Hongbing's SUAS service marketing can be applied to environmental governance and maritime safety. Although these concepts originated in marketing, they are equally valuable in public administration because they help govern organizations improve service delivery and strengthen stakeholders' relationship and create lasting value for society. Environmental governance and maritime safety are essential in public service. Their purpose is not only to enforce laws but also to protect ecosystems, ensure safety of navigation, and improve the quality of life of coastal communities. In the Philippine Coast Guard, these responsibilities include marine environmental protection, search and rescue operations, maritime law enforcement, and disaster response. These services require collaboration, innovation, and continuous improvement, which are emphasized in Hongbing's SUAS service marketing concepts. The first framework is open thinking. Open thinking emphasizes collaboration and openness in solving complex problems. Environmental issues cannot be addressed by one organization alone. They require partnership among government agencies, local governments, private organizations, as well as the coastal communities and other environmental groups. In the Philippine Coast Guard, this framework is evident during oil spill response operations, coastal cleanup activities, and marine environmental protection programs, where operations among stakeholders produces better environmental outcomes. The second framework is the socialized thinking. This framework recognizes that environmental protection is everybody's or everyone's responsibility. Government agencies should encourage citizens to become active participants rather than passive recipients of public services. For example, the Philippine Coast Guard conducts maritime safety and environmental awareness campaigns that educate our fishermen, students, and all the coastal residents. By involving communities, we promote environmental behavior and strengthen public participations in protecting our marine resources. The third framework is story thinking. Every public service creates a story that implements how people perceive government institutions. Successful search and rescue operations, marine conservation projects, and disaster response efforts create stories of compassion, resilience, and public service. These positive experiences strengthen public trust and encourage communities to participate in protecting the environment and supporting maritime safety initiatives. These thinking frameworks are supported by two concepts. The service marketing model focuses on building long-term relationships through effective communications, responsiveness, and stakeholders' engagement. In government, This means strengthening partnership with citizens and ensuring that services remains accessible and reliable. Service value marketing, on the other hand, reminds us that the public organization measures success not by profit, but the value they create. For environmental governance, value is reflected in cleaner coastal waters, safer marine transportations, protected ecosystems, and more resilient communities. In conclusion, Hongbing's was service marketing demonstrate the excellent public service depends on collaboration, citizens' participation, trust, and continuous value creation. These principles are highly relevant to environmental governance because sustainable development requires not only effective policies but also meaningful engagement with communities and stakeholders. As development administrators and public servants, our responsibility is to create services that improve people's lives while protecting our environment for future generations. Thank you.
Good day everyone. I am Fatima Elsawajaan, a doctoral student in Development Administration and Public Governance, and currently serving at the National Commission on Muslim Philippines. With the NCMF, I have been directly involved in programs and initiatives that support Muslim Filipinos across different communities in the country. My experience has allowed me to engage with local leaders, community organizations, government agencies, and stakeholders in addressing issues related to social inclusion, community development, cultural preservation, education, and access to government services. Working closely with Muslim communities has given me first-hand insight into the challenges many citizens face in accessing public services and participating in governance. It has also shown me the importance of building government programs that are inclusive, culturally sensitive, and responsive to the needs of diverse population. My presentation focuses on inclusive governance and public service delivery under the service marketing mode. User thinking emphasizes understanding the needs, expectations, and experiences of citizens as the primary users of public services. In my work with Muslim communities, I have encountered individuals and families who require government services that recognize their unique cultural, social, and economical realities. This experience has taught me that effective governance begins with listening to citizens and understanding their specific needs. When institutions adopt a user-centered approach, public services become more accessible, relevant, and effective. The socialized thinking recognizes that the governance is a shared responsibility between government and society. Through my work at the NCMF, I have participated in community consultations, stakeholders engagements, and collaborative initiatives where citizens actively contribute to identifying issues and developing solutions. This experience demonstrate that meaningful participation strengthens public trust, improves policy outcomes, and encourages communities to become active partners in development. The story thinking highlights the importance of narratives identity, and shared experiences. In many of the communities I have worked with, people want not only access to services but also recognition, respect, and representation. Every community has its own story, traditions, and aspirations. By understanding these stories, government institutions can build stronger connections with citizens and create programs that genuinely reflect their needs and values. Inclusive governance ensures that diverse voices are heard and represented in public decision making. Under service marketing mode, government institutions focus on building strong and lasting relationships with citizens through engagement, communication, transparency, and accountability. My experience in public service has shown that citizens are more likely to trust government institutions when they feel respected, informed, and involved. Meanwhile, service value marketing focuses on creating value for society. In governance, this value is reflected through equitable access to public services, social inclusion, community empowerment, and improved quality of life. When government institutions successfully serve diverse communities, they generate not only public satisfaction but also long-term social development and cohesion. And last, in conclusion, inclusive governance demonstrates that citizen-centered services are essential to sustainable development and effective public administration. Through user thinking, socialized thinking, and story thinking, government institutions can create services that are more responsive, inclusive, and meaningful. My experience at the National Commission of Muslim Filipinos has reinforced my belief that when government truly listens to and work with its people, stronger communities and better public outcomes can be achieved. Thank you very much.
This interdisciplinary case study demonstrates that successful organizations are no longer defined solely by the products they deliver, but by the value they create through services. Across cybersecurity, law enforcement, forensic science, healthcare, education, logistics, environmental governance, and public administration, service excellence remains the foundation of stakeholder trust, institutional effectiveness, and sustainable development. Guided by Hongbing's service framework, this study shows that organizations achieve lasting success when they understand stakeholder needs, foster collaboration, embrace innovation, and continuously create meaningful value. Thank you for watching.